Hello, I'm Dr. Phil Slonkowski, and in this video, I want to talk to you about what is inflammation. Right now, with so much discussion on CBD in the public sphere, nobody talks about really what is inflammation other than that CBD can help fix inflammation in a way. So let's talk about what exactly is inflammation. Your body has both good inflammation and bad inflammation, okay? So when your body is fighting a cold, or your body is fighting bad bacteria that got into a cut, it has to be able to identify that bacteria or be able to identify that virus and get it out of your body. So think about when you have a cut, for example. When you get a cut, it swells up, it turns red, fills with fluid. That's a manifestation of good inflammation protecting your body. And that's called acute inflammation. Okay, there's two types of inflammation, acute and chronic. Now, when dealing with acute inflammation, the example that most of us could come up with is, allergies or that cut on your finger that we just talked about. Now, chronic inflammation, this is what is causing so many of the health problems we have today, because it can be kind of silent and it can also build up over time. Because what ends up happening is our body on the inside has things that attack it in a way that aren't visible. Right? It's easy for you to see a cut on your finger, but it's hard for you to see maybe the cells of one of your organs slowly starting to be attacked, or your blood vessels starting to change because you're building up too much plaque. Your body is always on the defensive. It's always looking for things that are getting ready to attack it. And when that starts happening, the same cells that cause the swelling and tenderness on your finger can happen on the inside and can happen on those cells. And as that inflammation builds up over time and becomes chronic, that environment changes. And that's when typically people start feeling the symptoms. Now, that can be very hard to change because you have to change the environment, but it's the chronic nature of it that becomes so hard to contain. So remember, when thinking about inflammation, in particular, there's two types, chronic and acute. And inflammation can be both good and it can be both bad. And what's most important for you to remember is that it's the chronic inflammation that you really want to focus on. There's different causes for chronic inflammation, and there's different things that you can do to help fight that. Now, CBD is definitely a great adjunct now that we have to help fight chronic inflammation, because what it does is works with your body to use your body's natural ability and helps support that and to promote it to work better. The second thing you can do is work on your diet, and there are plenty of resources out there to help you figure out what diet is best for you. I will only comment on one thing, and that is each of us is different. Each of our bodies is different. And one diet that might work for you may not be the one that worked for your friend. But we do all have an endocannabinoid system. And no matter what, if you're fighting chronic inflammation, the research and the continual opinion out there is that CBD or, for example, a phytocannabinoid-rich hemp oil can be a great adjunct for that. If you have specific questions about whether or not your chronic inflammation could benefit, talk with your doctor. The research is out there. There's a lot of great blogs, a lot of great web resources, but hopefully, more than anything, what you took away from this video is simply a better understanding that inflammation is both good and bad, that there's chronic and acute, and that it's the chronic inflammation that we really want to be worried about, because that's the silent killer. If you have any comments, any questions, please leave those below. As always, try to do one thing every day to help yourself live a healthier and happier life. Thank you for watching.